Good afternoon. Buenas tardes, chicos y chicas. Long time no see. ¿Cómo están? I will be answering all of your advanced parole and DACA questions. Let me fix my lipstick. All right. Who do we have? Don't be shy. Ask your questions. ¿Qué preguntas tienen el día de hoy? I have one viewer from Facebook. Where are you joining us from? ¿De dónde nos están viendo? Hola Isra, dice la pregunta. Hola amiga, ¿AP sigue en pie? Con la corte de hoy pienso aplicar ASAP. Sí, todavía sigue. Puedes aplicar. Con lo que sucedió en la corte, solo fue una junta. Nada se ha cancelado. Aplica lo más pronto que puedas. ¿Qué otras preguntas tienen el día de hoy? Si tienen cualquier pregunta o duda o quieren hacer una junta, agendar una junta con uno de nuestros administradores para asistencia, ustedes pueden mandar un número de texto a este número. 203-437-7566. If you guys need one-on-one assistance, you guys can schedule a meeting with one of our admin. You can text or call 203-437-7566. Pero, ¿qué sabes sobre la corte de hoy y el futuro de DACA y AP? Yo creo que mucha gente se anda preguntando eso en Facebook. Yo no tengo noticias, yo no voy a dar información que no sea verdad. Si hay alguna noticia, nosotros la vamos a publicar, pero yo no vi la junta de hoy. Desafortunadamente estaba en el trabajo y no pude verla, pero si tenemos o si hay cualquier tipo de actualización en las cortes, nosotros vamos a dejarles saber. Gris Domínguez, hola, a mí me aprobaron mi InfoPass y cuando regresé, el sello dice que y cuando regrese el sello dice que es múltiple hasta un año más. ¿Qué puedo hacer? Ese sello no lo tomes en cuenta. Las fechas que puede salir están en tu papelito de InfoPass. Algunas veces los oficiales ponen paroled until next year, algo así. Esa fecha ustedes no la vean. Las fechas que son verdades son las que están en su papel de Advanced Parole. Así que si solo tuvieses una entrada, ya no puedes volver a salir. ¿Ok? No hagas ese error. Las fechas en las que ustedes pueden viajar son las fechas que están en el papel de Advanced Parole. Ana Ramírez, ¿cuánto se está tardando para que te aprueben tu AP? Dentro de 3 a 4 meses. Luz Luquín, ¿sabes si están pidiendo la vacuna para entrar con el Advanced Parole por tierra o avión? Ya no es necesaria. Ya eso lo quitaron hace como un mes. Pero todavía es necesario si algún día piensan meter su aplicación de residencia. Ok, gracias. ¿Y puedo mandar los mismos papeles para aplicar para múltiples entradas? Tienes que mandar información actualizada. Recuerden, chicos, ustedes pueden aplicar para Advanced Parole más de una vez. Solo tienen que mandar información actualizada. Si quieren visitar a su abuelo y ya mandaron su AP y ya fueron a su país el año pasado y quieren usar la misma razón, pueden usar la misma razón, pero tiene que ser información actualizada. Luz Luquín, gracias. De nada. Ok, Ok, sí, entonces tal vez para julio ya van a estar aprobando las aplicaciones de abril. Junio o julio. Sandra Tinajero, when applying for adjustment of status, you have to submit evidence for multiple traffic tickets that add up to more than 500. I'm not sure. You can ask that in our AOS group. This is for, I'm doing a live and I'll be answering questions about advanced parole and DACA. I'll answer general questions about adjustment of status. I think you'll be fine. You don't have to send, if it's less than or more than 500, I'm not sure if you need to send any evidence, but ask that question in the group, in our other group, AOS-Dreamers Together. Gris Domínguez, yo apenas regresé este domingo pasado. Fue para mi hermano. Welcome back. Luz Luquín, entonces para aplicar para la residencia en el futuro, ¿sí piden la vacuna del COVID? Sí, en este momento sí te la piden. Para viajar con Advanced Parole ya no es necesario. Fernanda Hernández, haciendo DACA Renewal en papel es lo mismo que haciéndolo por línea, nomás la diferencia es que estemos imprimiendo. Supongo que sí, yo todavía no he renovado mi DACA, pero luego actualizan las formas de papel cada año, así que recomiendo que lo hagas en línea porque es más rápido. Me aprobaron el 10 de mayo. Felicidades, Gris. Vanessa Denise, sorry, I just got here. How long does it take to get approved for AP? On average, it takes 3 to 4 months. Claribel Hernández, hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo ya usé AP 6 veces en total. Voy por mi 7ª vez. Los que pueden, apliquen. Mira, felicidades, no tengas miedo. Nosotros tenemos un miembro que ha viajado con Advanced Parole 16 veces. Entonces, si ustedes tienen una razón válida, no tengan miedo y apliquen. Únanse a nuestro grupo de Facebook, ahí tenemos las guías. Vanessa Denise, I applied last week of February. All right, so yours should be coming up because we're seeing March approvals now. Elsa Ríos, hola, para aplicar para AP, ¿la carta del médico tiene que ser del médico de aquí, USA y de México o solamente de México? Depende por cuál razón quieres ir, Elsa. ¿Cuál es tu razón? Jasmine, si tu número de recibo empieza con IOE, ¿hay posibilidad que la manden al Texas Center o eso significa que está en otro center? ¿A dónde mandaste tu paquete de Advanced Pro? Alondra Maldonado, I'm about to send my AP al correo. Super nervous. Good luck. And remember, all Advanced Parole applications are sent to Arizona. Doesn't matter where you live. All Advanced Parole applications. Advanced Parole, todas las aplicaciones de Advanced Parole se mandan a Arizona, no importa en el estado a donde vivas. Dulce García, hola Ana, mi amiga está en el proceso de AP. Viajará a Japón por motivo educativo. ¿Sabes si me piden una visa especial o permiso para entrar a Japón o solo con mi pasaporte de México? Eso no sé. Debes de investigar eso en no sé, ¿dónde se investiga eso? Checa, haz un Google search. La verdad no tengo esa respuesta. O tal vez puedes hacer una publicación en el grupo. Perfecto, lo manda Phoenix. Claribel Hernández, pedí mi FOIA y no me llegó copia del I-131. Según la abogada, puedo equivocarse con el seguro de mi hermana y no el mío. Ok. Tengo miedo de hacer AP por el posible error de seguro social. ¿Qué hago? Corra a tu abogada y hazlo tú solita. No creo que ese error de seguro social vaya a afectar tu aplicación para Advanced Parole. Pero esa abogada, córrela. Rocío Sosa, ¿cuánto tarda para tu residencia? Ya hice AP. Mi hija cumple los 21 el julio del 2023, el próximo mes. Depende en qué estado vivas. Hemos visto... yo vi un caso que le aprobaron la residencia dentro de 2 meses, a otros tarda como 1 año. El promedio es hasta 18 meses. ¿Sabes? Hugo, Salva Sepa, no sé qué es esa pregunta. Ya está aprobado, Claribel. Ok, bueno, no, nada va a pasar. Si tú tienes tu aplicación de Advanced Parole aprobada, es una aplicación válida, ¿ok? No tengas miedo, puedes salir y puedes regresar al país sin problemas. Ok, ¿qué otras preguntas tienen, chicos? ¿De dónde nos están viendo? Próxima pregunta. Adrián Ponce, ¿se puede tener dos solicitudes de AP al mismo tiempo, una por educación y la otra humanitaria? ¿Por qué no mandas una aplicación para las dos razones? Están pidiendo la vacuna del COVID para Advanced Parole, ya no es necesario. Para la aplicación de residencia, sí, todavía la vacuna de COVID es necesaria para ser residente. H-Town, that's my hometown. Now I'm in Dallas. Claudia Sánchez, California. California, saludos, soy mamá de un dreamer. Yay, gracias por tu tiempo y por mantenernos informados. De nada. Ana es de Memphis, Tennessee. René Herrera, ¿qué posibilidad hay que renieguen la entrada cuando aplicas para Advanced Pro? Una razón por la que te van a negar la entrada es si tratas de traer una sustancia ilegal, has cometido un crimen en el país a donde has viajado o estás tratando de entrar después de que tus fechas se vencieron. Así que ninguna persona ha sido negada la entrada con Advanced Parole, ¿ok? No cometas ningún crimen en el país a donde estás, no trates de traer una sustancia ilegal y no te quedes más de las fechas que han sido aprobadas. Claribel Hernández, no hay problema si acumulaste unlawful presencia si agarraste DACA después de los 18 años. Yo agarré DACA a 24 años de edad. ¿Cuál es el problema? No hay problema. Muchos streamers también obtuvieron DACA después de los 18 años y han viajado con Advanced Parole y hasta ya son residentes. Así que no hay problema. Si tú tienes DACA, si tu DACA está vigente y si ya te aprobaron tu permiso de Advanced Parole, no hay problema. Hola, Saray, ¿cómo estás? Saludos al equipo de Dreamers Together desde Utah. Saludos. Saludos desde Texas. Litzia Yala, California. I was previously married and divorced. Now my husband is in the military and I was going to apply with PIP. Would I include my divorce decree? I believe that is a requirement to include if you're sending a any type of residency packet that is with PIP or adjustment of status. Jasmine Alexa, hi, hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you? ¿De dónde nos están viendo? Hola Luz, gracias, saludos desde California. Muchos nos están viendo de California. Hasta ya dan ganas de ir a California. Un lugar muy bonito. Jasmine, can you tell us all the next step we have to take after you applied for AP? After you've been approved, or what is the next step in general? Liz Moreno, les quiero dar las gracias por toda la ayuda con el AP. Sin ese grupo nunca me hubiera animado a hacerlo. ¡Yay! Watching you from Florida. How's Florida, by the way? How are y'all doing down there? Claudia Sánchez, ese es el miedo de muchos que nieguen la entrada, pero si AP fue aprobada, la entrada está garantizada, solo que los abogados malinforman. Correcto, pero este grupo nos da mucha información valiosa. All right, well, after you get approved, just make sure that you look at your entry and your dates, the dates that you can leave and the dates you must return by. Make sure that you have your valid passports, your advance parole documents. What else? Your ID, if you have one, you don't have to have your ID to travel. And just make sure that you keep those documents safe and you make copies of it. And then you return, you check in at the airport, and you are paroled back into the United States. Saraí, yo hice Advance Parole gracias a este grupo y entré sin ningún problema. Tuve múltiples intentos de entrada con otros nombres cuando recién ingresé a USA y tuve mi DACA a los 27 años. Felicidades, Saraí. Claribel, perdón por tantas preguntas. En la FOIA dice Departure 1 and 2, no data declared. What does that mean? It means that there's no data. It means that there is no data. Desde Naples, Florida, hoy estamos de protesta en contra de la nueva ley. ¿Cómo les va ya? ¿Han cambiado las cosas? He visto muchos TikToks que muchas personas ya no están en the fields para recoger la fruta, ya no están en la construcción. ¿Cómo les va por allá? ¿Qué otras preguntas tienen, chicos? We have people watching from Facebook and from YouTube. Hay muchos movimientos con la policía, muchos retenes y a unos familiares le dijeron que los van a tener de despedir al final del mes. Oh my God. Esmeralda Garza, can my husband apply for AP if his grandma passed away 2 years ago, about to be 3 in December? Add another reason. That's been too long and USCIS is not going to approve a grave visit if it's been more than 2 years. Add another reason. Does he have a sick family member by chance? Claribel Hernández, tengo que perder el miedo. Creo que pongo muchas excusas para ir este fin de mes. No tengas miedo. Bueno, es normal tener miedo, pero no pierdas esta oportunidad porque te vas a arrepentir si no tomas ventaja de este permiso. Hello from California. Hey, Melissa, ¿cómo estás? Jasmine Adán, ¿cuál aerolínea es mejor con niños? La que esté más barata, no sé. No sé, yo no tengo hijos, pero la que usted quiera. Andrés Sánchez, buenas tardes. Me aprobaron mi AP en InfoPass el 22 de marzo y me lo aprobaron hasta marzo 2024. ¡Wow! Todo un año. Y me pienso ir a mitad de junio. Espero que todo salga y no tenga problemas al regresar. No vas a tener ningún problema con que regreses antes de tu fecha de vencimiento. Esmeralda Garza, he had a grandfather with high blood pressure. Does that count? Yes. Ask for a constancia médica, a medical letter from the doctor. Hey, doctor, ¿me puedes dar una constancia médica? Ok, aquí está. Nunca se menciona, oh, es que yo la necesito es que tengo que hacer una aplicación, es que la tengo que meter a inmigración. No, ya no te la van a querer hacer o si no te van a cobrar mucho dinero. Lo único que necesitas si quieres visitar a un familiar enfermo es obtener una constancia médica. If you want to visit a sick relative, you need a medical note. Jasmine Alexa, how long does AP usually take when you're applying for the first time? If you're applying for the first time, second, third, it's always going to take between 3 to 4 months. Hi there. Does one have to have a FOIA for AP? No, you don't have to do a FOIA to do advanced parole. It is recommended just so you know what's on file. If you are doing adjustment of status, we highly recommend that you get a FOIA done. Almendra Tapia, ¿se puede aplicar para solo llevar a mis hijos a ver a sus abuelos? Si sus abuelos están enfermos, sí, es una razón válida. Melissa says, I'm great. Can I ask a question about AOS? It has to be general, though. I'm mainly answering questions about AP and DACA. But yes, I'll see if I can answer it. Litzia Yala, thank you. And hardship letter should be written by petitioner or beneficiary. And for statement of last entry, if I cross through Tijuana border but no inspection, would I explain how I got here? I do not have a legal entry. If you don't have a legal entry, you cannot do adjustment of status. That would be doing consular process, and we don't have guides on how to do consular process. Do advanced parole, get your legal entry, and then do adjustment of status. You don't have a legal entry, you cannot adjust here. Esmeralda, they said no to us since he hasn't been hospitalized, so we're taking him to a different doctor. It could be like a physical, like, hey, going to the doctor, getting a physical, they'll write, the high blood pressure, high cholesterol, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't have to be extremely ill. Claribel, los abogados meten mucho miedo, solo son buenos para sacarte el dinero. Así son muchos abogados, solo te quieren sacar el dinero y meter miedo. Pero sí, no pierdas la oportunidad para viajar con advanced parole. Maritza, the only constancia médica letter we got is for high blood pressure. Do you think that's enough? We only have that medical letter. Apply. I just said that your family members don't have to be gravely ill or on their deathbed to apply for advanced parole. If you have a constancia médica and it lists illnesses, you can apply. Melissa, I was wondering how long does the immigration medical exam is current after I get it done. I'm planning to send my AOS packet at the end of June, and I got my medical. I think 60 days. I'm not sure, but you can ask that in the group. Eli Ríos, yo apliqué para AP, pero la muchacha que me ayudó lo puso 2024, pero yo quiero ir este año. ¿Cree que me aprueban este año? Esa es la discreción del oficial. Litzy, I was looking at PIP templates of a cover letter, and it says letter of last entry. PIP, you don't have to have a legal entry because you get paroled here. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That is beyond my knowledge, but you can ask that question in the group. Jasmine, mi amigo va a renovar su DACA, pero todavía no acaba su GED. Si lo renueva online, ¿tiene que explicar o puede skip that question? No estoy segura, pero si puede saltar esa pregunta y puede someter la aplicación, no creo que habrá un problema. Esmeralda, does prescription work like it says high blood pressure, basically the medication? Yes. Yes. But if you have another reason, I think you said that you had a grave visit. Add it, include it, make it a strong case. Just don't use a grave visit that's over 2 years old as your only reason. Jasmine, who on here has done their AP by themselves? Me, thousands of other members. Don't be afraid. Tony Tapia, hola, ¿cómo estás, Tony? Hola, ya he seguido las guías de Facebook, aún así siento que necesito ayuda. ¿El número de atrás es para agendar una cita? Sí, el número de atrás es si quieres agendar una cita con nosotros one-on-one. Puedes llamar o mandar un número de texto. Maritza, what is the new affidavit services you guys added? Do you guys help with creating a strong affidavit? Yes, we do. You can also text this number and request that help. Jasmine, do we need a certified interpreter to translate the medical certificate that our family sends us? No, you can translate it yourself as long as you certify it and sign it. Sign and certify every translation that you do. It doesn't have to be a certified interpreter. Sarai, ¿ya piden GED or high school diploma para renovar DACA? No creo. No creo. Do you have an example on the letter you sent in with your AP? Yes, use our search bar, guys. Also, let me reiterate that. Our search bar, if you go into our group, our Dreamers Together Inc., it's going to be at the top right corner. You can search affidavit, example, medical letter, any keyword, and you will see everything that's been published under that. Everything is going to pop up. I have an example. You can check files. Other members have uploaded their stuff. Esmeralda, thank you. Could someone explain how it works when crossing my plane or car? I'm stressing out and my husband hasn't even been approved. It will be our first time planning ahead. If you're crossing by plane, you have to check in at the airport, leaving the U.S. and returning to the U.S. They'll ask for the advance parole at the counter. Sometimes in the country that you're in, you'll check in like a regular flight. And then once you are coming back through the airport, there's going to be two lines, citizen and foreigners. And you can get in line in the citizen line if you're with your husband and I see you have a child, you can get in line with them. Then you will be taken to El Cuartito, secondary inspection. It's like a little waiting room, and then you get processed there, and they'll stamp your passport or your advance parole documents. By car, because when I used my advance parole, I left through plane first, and then I went by car. Coming back, I came through Puente Laredo in Laredo, Puente Colombia in Laredo, Texas. They were not aware about what advance parole was. So if you're coming back by car, I would search the little port of entry that you are planning to return by. A lot of port of entries are aware. This one that I crossed through was not. The supervisor got involved. Nobody knew what to do, and at the end, they were like, "Okay, you can go through," but I would not cross through Puente Colombia in Laredo because they just were not aware. But through airplane, everyone pretty much knows what advance parole is. Eunice Clark, how long should I wait to start my AOS? I recently got married, but we've been together for almost 3 years. You don't have to wait. Why wait? Claribel Hernandez, do you guys have a video that explains how to read a FOIA? We don't have a video how to read a FOIA, but if you need assistance, we might be able to help you if you text this number here. René Herrera, cuando eres aprobado por AP, ¿te llega algún tipo de carta por correo o qué? ¿O para que te piden las fotos también? ¿De qué fotos estás hablando? Cuando te aprueban para Advance Parole, te van a mandar un documento verde y va a decir Advance Parole Document I-131 o I-512. Y va a tener tu foto abajo y las fechas en letras rojas. I heard a lot of people saying they got a call from ICE after applying for AP, or what does it even mean? Who is saying this? Like it's not against you, but who is telling you this? This is nonsense. This is false. No ICE officer is going to call you. If you are doing InfoPass, which is Emergency Advance Parole, a USCIS office will call you to schedule an appointment, but it's not ICE. Yeah, it says, I don't remember one of the DACA groups. See, you have to be very careful where you're getting information from, because a lot of people just like to talk. So no, ICE is not going to call you. But like I said, if you are doing emergency advance parole, that is when you call USCIS and schedule an appointment, and then they will give you a call back. If you send it in by mail, no ICE officer is going to call you. ICE doesn't call you. No, if you're getting a call saying it's ICE, then it's probably a scammer. Ismael Cortez, can you explain the process for a combo card and how to expedite it? I would explain it to you if I had a combo card. I've been trying to expedite it and I've been getting denied. So you can search combo card expedite in our group. There's people that have done it. I have not been successful, but I'm going to keep trying. Yeah. Okay. That is what I saw. Something about InfoPass. Yes. InfoPass is not ICE. USCIS and ICE are two different entities. USCIS is United States, ¿qué? US, I don't know. Let me look it up. USCIS. United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. They are the ones who process our immigration applications. So, yeah, let's not spread wrong information. I'm glad you asked and I'm glad you got that clarified, but no, ICE is not ever going to call you like that. Ok, ¿qué otras preguntas tienen, chicos? Okay. Remember, guys, use our search bar, use our guides, use our files, use nuestra barrita de búsqueda en nuestro grupo de Facebook, use nuestras guías, use nuestros archivos. Claribel Hernandez, is there a website to check which airports are familiar with AP? No, there isn't, but you can use our search bar. Esmeralda Garza, even if my husband didn't go to his appointment, and what is? You cut off there. You cut off, Esmeralda. I can't see the rest of your question. There you go. Even if my husband didn't go to his appointment in Juarez 2 times, would it affect him doing AP? People are scaring him. No, who is scaring him? Let me talk to them. Tell them to join the group. If he didn't show up to Juarez, that's fine. I wouldn't show up to Juarez either. That doesn't matter because your advanced parole application has nothing to do with your adjustment of status or consular process application. Liz Moreno, is there a way to expedite advanced parole? It really is up to the discretion of the officer. You can try expediting with chatting Emma, but if it's a real emergency, then you would have, I recommend doing InfoPass if it's like a dire need. InfoPass, you would have to take the information, the same information that you mailed in for advanced parole. I don't know what information that you sent in. Let's say it's for humanitarian reason and it's an emergency and you have a sick relative and their health is declining. You would need a new doctor's letter explaining that, hey, this is an emergency. This person needs to, you need to travel now. You would set up an InfoPass appointment and then go to your nearest USCIS office, and then approval would be up to the discretion of the officer, and you would have to pay again if they are approving it. If they don't approve it, you don't pay, but that is for InfoPass. Maritza, for a parent's birth certificate, do I need the original or just a copy? Copies only. Never send original documents to USCIS. You're not going to return it. Never send originals. Esmeralda, they're scaring him, telling him that they would hold him back due to him failing for not going. So we think AP will help for adjustment of status, but our lawyer saying to not do it. Fire your lawyer. Do it yourself. There is a lot of lawyers that will discourage you from doing advanced parole because they want you to pay them to keep doing consular process, which is more expensive and more time consuming. And what does time cost? Money. Money, money, money. They want money from you. So fire your lawyer and do your adjustment of status. If he already has an I-130, then you don't even have to worry about it when you're switching to adjustment of status. But join our adjustment of status group, AOS-Dreamers Together. Fire your lawyer, they're incompetent, and do advanced parole by yourself. Do it by yourself. We have the guides, we have the files, we have a video on YouTube on how to fill out the advanced parole form. So fire your lawyer and do it yourself. Tony Tapia, en la aplicación para AP se puede poner el tiempo de 365 días para el permiso con constancia médica de un padre y es seguro que te den las entradas múltiples o depende del oficial que revise tu caso. Usted puede poner 365 días si usted quiere. Las entradas múltiples es a la discreción del oficial. Recuerden, chicos, ustedes pueden hacer esta aplicación solos. No es necesario que usen un abogado. Hay muchos abogados que no están bien informados sobre Advanced Parole, muchos abogados que solo te dicen que es para emergencias, muchos abogados que dicen que razón dental no cuenta como una razón para salir del país, que ir a razones educacionales no son un motivo para aplicar para AP. No tengan miedo y apliquen ustedes solos. De nada. Aquí tenemos las guías, yo hago lives todos los jueves, tenemos archivos, un video en YouTube de cómo llenar la aplicación. No tengan miedo, chicos. Knowledge is power. La educación es poder. No tengan miedo. Does the birth certificate have to be notarized? Nothing has to be notarized when you're doing advanced parole. If you are mailing it in, if you are doing InfoPass, some states are picky, some officers are picky. They want stuff to be notarized, but if you are just mailing it in, nothing has to be notarized. It does have to be certified, though. If you are doing translations, make sure that you are certifying them, and a certification means I, Gabriela, certify that I did the translation to the best of my ability from Spanish to English, and then you sign. That is all a certification is. We have an example on Facebook, and you have to make sure that every single translation has that certification on it, or else you will get a request for evidence. Every single thing that is not in English has to be translated. Vicky Rivera, hola, tengo una pregunta, tengo entrada legal por el AP, mi esposo no tiene permiso legal, tenemos una hija en común que cumplirá 21, mi hija puede hacer petición para los dos o solo yo que tengo permiso legal o necesito ponerlo en la aplicación o no se meterá en problemas de deportación. ¿Su esposo no tiene entrada legal? Si su esposo no tiene entrada legal, entonces su hija no puede pedirle, a lo menos que esté cubierto por la petición 241I. Desafortunadamente, tendría que esperar hasta que usted se convierta en residente o ciudadana para que usted le pueda pedir a él. Entonces, por el momento, si él no tiene entrada legal, su hija puede peticionar por usted y luego, ya que usted se haga residente, puede empezar el proceso, pero es más rápido ya cuando usted sea ciudadana. pero hay que empezar hay que empezar de todos modos, ¿no? Mete la aplicación para usted con su hija, que ya tiene 21, y como dije, ya cuando usted obtenga su residencia, puede empezar a meterle los papeles para su esposo. Y en la petición al llenar las formas no pongo a él. Él es el padre y usted está casado con él. No hay problema si usted pone su nombre. Eso no afecta nada. Pero usted no va a meter la aplicación para él. Pero en las formas piden si estás casada, sí, con quién, o quién es el padre de la hija, o pones el nombre de él. Pero eso no afecta, no lo va a afectar a él. O sea, no. Hay muchas personas, cuando llenan las formas de ajuste de estatus, piden la información de nuestros padres. Muchos de nuestros padres tampoco tienen estado legal y tienen miedo de que si ponen el nombre de alguna manera les va a afectar, pero eso no es cierto, solo es información. Pero la petición solo va a ser para usted, entonces no va a ser para él. Not sure if you can answer this, but my father had a 10-year bar in Mexico. It finally done May 5th. What do we have to do next? I'm not sure. Maybe try to apply for a visa to come back into the U.S., but I'm not sure about that. Maritza, I thought the checklist affidavit had to be notarized for the samples you guys have on the page. It doesn't have to be notarized, no. If you want to have it notarized, that's fine. It doesn't have to be notarized. Trust me, I sent in, nothing was notarized. It doesn't have to be notarized. De nada, Vicky. Yeah, we are actually updating our stuff, and I'll mention to the group that the notarized, it's not required. If you want, like I said, it doesn't hurt, but it's not required. Vicky, una pregunta más. Mi hija necesitará evidencia de cuánto gana. Ella no trabaja mucho. Ella está en la universidad. En este caso, ¿qué se recomienda hacer? Si usted hace lo suficiente, no va a ser problema. Pero para preguntas sobre eso, puedes hacerla en nuestro otro grupo, AOS-Dreamers Together. Si usted tiene sus 40 créditos y hace lo suficiente para mantener al hogar, no va a ser necesario que obtenga un sponsor para la cosa financiera. Is it better to make an appointment for InfoPass online or on the phone? You have to call. You can't make it online. You have to call USCIS. Let me move my head. Ok, sí, para saber cuánto debo ganar yo. Únete a nuestra página. Por el momento me estoy enfocando más en preguntas de Advanced Parole y DACA. No quiero darte información incorrecta, así que únete a nuestro grupo. Ya puse el nombre del grupo. Claribel, ¿qué pasó con las personas que hacen AP? ¿Tienen permanent bar? Just wondering. ¿Cómo que qué pasa? You keep asking questions. Me sigues haciendo preguntas. Sal, usa tu Advanced Parole, no tengas miedo, sal. Y ya cuando regresas te puedes preocupar del próximo paso. Pero sal, usa tu Advanced Parole, no tengas miedo, toma ventaja de esto y ya cuando regresas puedes ver cuál es el próximo paso. Ok, checo en la otra página. Muchas gracias. Sí, de nada. Jasmine, can you explain us more about InfoPass? Sorry, my phone ran out of battery when you were explaining it. All right, so InfoPass is Emergency Advanced Parole. In order to make an InfoPass appointment, you have to call USCIS. You can Google the USCIS number. I recommend you save it on your phone. I have it on my phone. It's one of my contacts. It's a 1-800 number. You call. If it's an emergency, let's say a sick relative, you will explain, I need to make an InfoPass appointment. My sick relative, blah, 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 blah. They usually call within 72 hours. It could take longer than a week for them to call you back and schedule an appointment at your nearest office. You will have to take all your documentation. When you go to your appointment, you will show that documentation to the officer. They will either approve or deny your InfoPass request. If they approve you, you will pay the fee. If they deny you, you don't have to pay the fee. You can still mail it in because remember, InfoPass is emergency and the emergency approval is up to the officer's discretion to approve. Ismael Cortez, how do I know where my case is being processed from? There should be at the bottom of your receipt, the service center. Claribel, I asked about the permanent bar. Hay varios abogados que dicen que con el AP you trigger the permanent bar. Who is telling you this information? You don't trigger a permanent bar if you use advanced parole. That is a legal entry. You don't trigger a permanent bar with advanced parole. I want to know who you're talking to so I can put them on blast. Esmeralda Garza, does anyone know any way how to get to Nueva Rosita, Coahuila, Mexico from plane? I try to looking up everything is still 4 hours away. I'm stressing out too early if husband hasn't got approved. Just trying to get everything right. You can make that a post on Facebook and see if anyone's taken that route. But if there's no direct flight, then you will probably have to take a bus or something. You are very welcome. Esmeralda, call the airport and ask what airlines land there. Yes, you can do that. I know that a lot of like little pueblitos don't have airports and you do have to drive out to them though. Kenya Chavez, I had most of my documentation ready for my AP to visit my sick grandma, but she passed in March. How do I go about this now? And would I be able to get some type of refund for the documents that were translated, or would these documents still be useful for her grave visit? You can still go visit her. If she just passed away, I'm sorry about that. Mail it in. Mail it in. You would need a copy of her death certificate, though, if she's already passed. Remember, guys, certification doesn't expire because unless the original document changed, then, I mean, you don't have to get it recertified. It's still a good certification if you get your documents translated. You are very welcome, and I'm sorry about that, but yes, apply, send in your application, and since it's been a recent passing, then you will get it. You will get approved. I sent my physical package with my AOS. How long is it good for? If you sent it with your AOS, then it's good until they approve it. Yes, you can still visit her grave as well if she just passed. Yes. Sorry, I keep asking questions, but that's what a lot of attorneys have told me. Just nonsense. Yes, just nonsense. All of these attorneys are just spewing lies and taking your money. But no, it doesn't trigger a 10-year bar if you go with advanced parole. That's just nonsense. It's nonsense, and we should be comfortable calling these lawyers out because it's just unethical that these lawyers, and they know better, and they just make up lies to keep taking our money. Don't be afraid to call them out. If you think that they are not working on your case, or they're not, if you're saying, hey, give me my documents, and they are holding them from you, report them to the state bar. Report them to the state bar. Hey, this lawyer's lying to me. Report them to the state bar. Hey, this lawyer doesn't want to give me my documents. Report them to the state bar. We have a lot of power. We just don't take advantage because we're scared. Let's not be scared. Report them. They're liars. Report them. Report them to the state bar. They shouldn't be practicing law if they don't know what the heck they're doing. All right, guys, a few more minutes. Ask your questions. Cynthia Garcia was denied for InfoPass due to having a previous cancellation of deportation case administrative closed. The officer recommended me to try to send it by mail. That's interesting, yes. So InfoPass, they can deny you, but closed deportation case, we've had members travel with an open order of deportation, so I don't know why he denied you because of that. But yes, send it by mail. AKMC, use the workshop video to apply for the FOIA in both the USCIS and the secure release. Can you explain the differences between these FOIAs? I'm trying to understand. I know I ask a lot, but the more I read, the more I get confused. So I was answering some of your questions on a previous post. You did your USCIS FOIA, and you did a CBP FOIA. I'm sure that's what you're referring to because we do have a video on how to do that. The differences in the FOIAs is USCIS FOIA will tell you everything you have sent USCIS and everything USCIS has sent you. For the CBP FOIA, that is the FOIA that has any entries associated with you. So they are two different entities, and FOIA means Freedom of Information Act. That means that you can request information that they have about you. So one is USCIS, everything you have sent to USCIS. The other entity is CBP. Now, there are different types of FOIAs depending on what entity you're trying to request it from. You made a post saying, I got this letter saying that they weren't going to release it. Yes, they do have the right to withhold information. That's normal. I hope that cleared some of the doubts that you had. Mine shows Service Center, NBC. What does that mean? That it's at the National Benefit Center. Qué valiosa información. Así podemos ayudarnos y apoyar a otros. Una pregunta de una amiga. Si te toman las huellas al entrar y ven que tienes un caso anterior, ¿puede haber algún problema por otro caso de inmigración? Gracias. Aquí estamos escuchando 5 personas. Hola las 5 personas. ¿A qué te refieres? Dice, si te toman las huellas al entrar y ven que tienes un caso anterior, ¿a qué caso anterior te refieres? María Pesina, buenas tardes. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo traduces las cartas médicas? Porque hay términos que no sabría cómo traducirlas. Yo traducí la carta médica usando Google Translate y usé otro, ¿cómo se llama? Otro sitio de web, no me acuerdo cómo se llama, pero si tú quieres traducir tus propias cartas, puedes unirte a nuestro grupo y ahí tenemos enlaces de diferentes websites de cómo traducirlo y también ofrecemos servicios de traducción. Okay, thought that was it. So like that's the one that I would need for AP to see if I have a double entry. You don't have to get a FOIA to do AP. I already answered that question for you. You don't have to get FOIA to do AP. It is recommended for your records. And even if you did have a double entry and you used advanced parole, you are still going to be let in. Now, if you are doing adjustment of status, I don't know if those 2 entries would count against you, but the CBP FOIA is the one that you would need to see if you have any recorded entries. And that one does take 10 to 12 months, give or take. Remember, when you are submitting a FOIA, there are people that are looking at this request saying, hey, you know, this person is requesting all of this information. They have to go into their system and look at case files one by one. Remember, there's millions of people here requesting their FOIA, so it takes a long time. So the harder the FOIA, the longer it's going to take. Yes, okay, yes, then you would need your CBP FOIA. And if you are doing AOS later on, then do it now. I'm guessing you've already done it, but you don't need it for advanced parole. Tiene caso cerrado administrativamente por un juez en la corte. No va a haber problema. Si tu DACA está vigente y te otorgaron el permiso de advanced parole, puedes entrar. Las huellas, eso es algo normal que ellos tienen que hacer, porque supongo que a todos los que entran por carro que no son residentes o ciudadanos les van a tomar las huellas. Así que no tengas miedo. A mí también me tomaron las huellas cuando entré en el aeropuerto. De nada, sí. Si la persona tiene DACA y tiene un caso de deportación que ya ha sido cerrado, pueden viajar con advanced parole. Nosotros también teníamos a un miembro y lo puedes buscar en la barrita de búsqueda de él, se llama Wilmer. Él viajó con un caso de deportación abierto, viajó creo que a Guatemala y ya se hizo residente. Jasmine, do we also need birth certificate from my family member who will be going to sea and my birth certificate? So what reason are you using to apply for advanced parole? You need to use your birth certificate, and if it's humanitarian, you need to prove familial ties. So yes, you would need their birth certificate. So imagine a family tree, my birth certificate, my parents, this relative. You need to align that way it matches up to you. Ok, ¿qué otras preguntas antes de que se me gaste la pila de mi laptop? Elsa Ríos, mi razón médica para AP sería que por un quiste piloneal cuyo tratamiento consiste en intervención quirúrgica. Lo expliqué el médico de México, pero no tengo carta de un médico de aquí. Hay posibilidad que obtengas una cotización de un doctor o un tratamiento, un plan de tratamiento de un doctor aquí. Ay. Maritza, do I need to submit birth certificates for both parents or just the person whom one is going to see? If you are visiting, let's say, a relative from your mom's side, you don't have to include your dad's birth certificate because it's only going to be your birth certificate, mom's birth certificate, let's say grandma, mom's mom, your grandma's birth certificate. So you don't have to include your dad's birth certificate. My boyfriend is using his dad as sick relative, but his mom is still alive with no sickness. That's fine. If the dad is sick and mom is not, that's good. You don't have to include mom's birth certificate because that's not the person who you are going to see. Now, if mom was sick and dad wasn't, then you wouldn't need dad's because you're going to see mom. Ok, ¿qué otras preguntas antes de que me vaya? All right, un minutito más. Dice, entonces necesito una carta del médico de aquí explicando el caso médico y el costo del tratamiento. Sí. Es como si estás tratando de aplicar por razones dentales, vas a necesitar una cotización del doctor aquí y otra del doctor, el del dentista de México, así para comparar el precio. Pero supongo que tu tratamiento va a ser muy caro, pero trata de conseguir un tratamiento de un médico aquí con el precio y todo, para que ellos vean que sí es necesario que viajes a otro país para recibir este tratamiento. Ok, chicos, si no tienen ninguna otra pregunta, ya nos vemos para la próxima semana. Estoy aquí todos los jueves. Gracias por ver y nos vemos next week.